Right, super quick toy video this week because I'm going to look at a pretty massive collection of toys, and I just wanted to quickly show you something based on last week's video really. Just find the light switch, where are we? Showcases and shop floor, there we go. So, as you know, or if you saw my last video you'll know, I have become a little bit obsessed with this, the 1978 Airfix Catalogue. And as I said in my last video, as I opened the first page, I came across the Airfix Eagles, which is a range of figures I've never really heard of. And that led me to discover, and drop on the floor, the amazing Dr. War, which is a brilliantly rubbish action figure. I'm just going to go and pick this up. And that's kind of freaked the camera out a bit. There we go. There we go, back in the room. Dr. War and Captain Eagle were two of the figures that I showed in last week's video. I never knew that Airfix distributed Weebles in the UK. I had no idea it was from Airfix, and I had no idea the range was quite so big. But I do remember the advert, Weebles wobble but they don't fall down. And of course now I'm going to have to get some for the museum, aren't I? Because what I'm actually going to do with these toys is a museum shelf display showing toys of that era. Another thing that's in this catalogue, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, is this Farrah Fawcett doll. And by chance, I happen to be able to get my hands on one. It is fantastic. If you remember the lovely Farrah Fawcett, who is sadly no longer with us, she was a bit of an icon in the 70s, and of course, having iconic status means merchandise. And this is one of those pieces of merchandise. There are also lots of clothing and accessories to go with that doll, a bit like an Action Man or a Bionic Woman doll. There's lots of stuff that goes with that figure. In fact, there's even some bits that you can cut out on the front. Cardboard skis, Farrah's tennis racket, even an all-inclusive skateboard. But the reason for this incredibly quick video, because I'm going to look at a massive toy collection now, I wanted to show you these. The Time Travelers from Micronauts. I've managed to, I think I've acquired pretty much everyone I could get my hands on. I've got a bag full of them here, and more in the cabinet over there. But I've got two orange ones. I'm squinting because the sun's quite bright outside and I put the camera in a bad place. I've got two blue ones, and I'll show those in close-up a bit later on. Now, they have these little tubes in the back which the figures actually came with, and a clear body, and you can see the rubber band inside, and then they have these chest pieces that clip on and off. And a lot of articulation. These are very cool. If you don't know, these were, well, there's a bit of a history with these. They were, come on brain, yes, they were a Japanese toy line called Micronauts, and they were licensed by Mego about 1976, I think, and brought to America 2 years before Star Wars. From there, from Mego licensing them in the US to Airfix picking them up here in 1977, obviously with the start of Star Wars mania and the lack thereof of tiny space-style action figures, these things really kind of hit the market at the right time. I've got the 1979, well I haven't, I've got a copy from the 1979 catalogue because I accidentally sold it because I'm a Burke. And in 1979, Airfix spent £2 million, which just seems almost insane because that's got to be close to 10 million now, surely. But Micronauts were a pretty big success because there were no Star Wars toys out there in 77, not till 78, and Kenner got its act together and got them on the shelves. Also in 1978, Micronauts were at the back of the Airfix catalogue. By 1979, they were right at the front, and the Airfix Eagles had all but gone. So the thing that interests me really in these figures are the Time Travelers. I think they're awesome. I don't know why they've called them Time Travelers. Let's have a look. see what it says in the catalogue about them. The basic Micronaut. The grammar in these is terrible, or it's just my reading. Right, let's start again. The Time Traveller. The basic Micronaut. He's a transparent good guy. He's unique in concept and design. He's got movable joints, is fully posable. He's scaled for use with all Micronaut vehicles and playsets. And that's kind of where Mego and Airfix were clever, because all these toys were already produced. All they had to do was make slight adjustments to the packaging, and in some cases, slight adjustments to the figures to get stuff out there that was kind of Star Warsy but wasn't. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple of bits that I've got over here. In fact, if I do that and flip the camera around, there you go, you can kind of see them. So these are some of the vehicles, and you're probably going to recognise them, especially if you're a kid that's the same age as me, mainly because these toys were in toy shops all over. This set here, that's the Star Defender, and I don't quite have all the parts for that yet, which is a shame, but I've been trying to get my hands on a lot of these figures. But one rather cool one is the Astro Station, which is here. That's my wife texting me. So one of the sets is this Astro Station here, which is very cool. You can see there's a time traveller in there. He's at the control console. And I don't know if you've noticed, but they have these white pins in the back. And what they do, if I can just zoom in on the seat there, is when you put the figure in the vehicle, that actually holds it in place rather than him kind of hovering like he is doing in that one. Also managed to get my hands on these, but I'm going to feature these in another video because I've got the white horse, which is called Oberon, coming. So I'm going to show you those in a separate video. Right, so that's a quick look at a few toys from the 1978 catalogue. Not going to be as heavily edited as last week's. I'm going to try and show you some of the toys that I'm buying later on today in another video. I don't know whether I'll get that posted out this week or it'll be for next Tuesday. But take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.